Ayotunde Yoloye is the artistic director and CEO of the Free Gift International, a Christian arts ministry that uses theater and film for evangelism and societal transformation. Over the past 28 years, he has directed more than 1,000 live stage productions and written over 100 plays, many of which expose themes like corruption, nation building, and values education. A chartered accountant and former PwC executive, Yoloye blends corporate strategy with creative storytelling to drive change. He also leads Creative Learning Concepts Limited and organizes major productions such as the iconic stage performances held at Museum Center in Lagos.
Hello everybody, my name is Ayotunde Yoloye. I am the creative director at an organization known as Free Gift International Film and Theater Ministry. One of the things we do at Free Gift International Film and Theater Ministry is we use the instruments of theater and film primarily to preach the gospel, but also to teach and disciple people. So if I was to define an elite, I would define an elite as any individual who has superior abilities or quality over other people in his community or in his space, whatever that superior ability or quality is. So you can either be a financial elite, a mental elite, a spiritual elite, a social elite, an emotional elite, a technical elite, physical elite. Anywhere where you have a superior advantage or qualities over other people around you, you qualify as an elite. And that puts you in a unique position to be able to use your elite status to drive transformation and to drive change. My exposure has been in accounting. By training, I'm an accountant. I'm a professional accountant, a chartered accountant. I was in professional practice for almost 17 years. But over that time, I developed a passion for the theater, for film. And in that period, I developed competencies in that area such that today you might actually look and say, in the area of theater and film, I am an elite. How can one use that position as an elite, particularly in the entertainment sector or in the area of theater, film, music, or whatever genre area of entertainment you are in? I think it's instructive to note that a picture speaks more than 1,000 words. Having been involved in ministry for a while, I find that you can get an individual who will stand before a room, speak for 30, 45 minutes on a given topic. And if you ask them, the people in that room, 2 or 3 months from that time, what exactly did that individual say? Sometimes they might be able to remember 10, 15% of what they said. But in that same room, if I do a 2-minute or 3-minute skit, I find that 10 years, 15 years down the line, people can still remember. So it is clear that entertainment has the capacity to make a significant impact in the lives of people. We may argue, or some people may argue and say yes, but if we look at our society today, we see that entertainment may even be pushing us in what we consider the wrong direction. Entertainment may be teaching people vices or things that, society may not necessarily always be happy with. But the truth of the matter is that entertainment essentially is just a tool. Theater, film, music, they are tools. The question is, what do you do with your tool? And as an elite, it's important for us, I believe, to be able to master the use of that tool, master your craft, and then use that tool to be able to drive the change or the transformation that you are looking for. And I think that one area where we can actually make significant impact is particularly amongst the young people, among the youths. I understand today that if you look at the population of Nigeria, 70% of the population is estimated to be below the age of 30. That means a significant portion of the population of this country are young people. Now, there are certain advantages you get when you work with young people. One, young people are impressionable. Young people are looking for role models. Young people have the future ahead of them and are trying to make decisions as to which way they need to go at any point in time. In these days of social media and in these days where a lot of things are being digitalized and social media and the internet is very active, you find that a lot of the time people are looking for who they can follow. Now, where you have credibility and where you have authenticity, you can develop a following. If you know how to use the craft of entertainment, of film, of theater, it can give you a voice. So the question now is, with your voice, with your authenticity, and with your credibility, what are you going to tell the people? And I believe that as an elite in the field of entertainment or media, in the field of theater and film, there are a number of things you can do. You can use your craft to instill values in the people, to teach values. You can use your craft to establish principles, define what is sometimes referred to as the ancient landmarks. What do I mean by that? Things are changing today, but a lot of the time the principles on which those changes happen, they remain the same. Now, if we're able to use our craft, our tool as entertainment or media people to be able to teach people, expose people to what the principles that actually can make people great to be, it will be a step in the right direction. I believe that you can use these crafts to change mindsets. We can use this craft to be able to get people to begin to think outside the box. More importantly, we can use the craft to be able to show people what is possible so that young people can look and say, I can be whatever I want to be. I can aspire to do certain things. And because you are able to see it, it becomes a lot more real to the young people than if we just theorize or talk about it. The same way you can preach a gospel message, the same way you can teach a leadership principle, the same way you can teach people in terms of how to manage their teams, how to resolve conflicts, how to plan, how to effect strategy, how to account. It doesn't matter the area of field in which you are operating. It is possible for you to take the arts, to be able to take media, to be able to take stage plays, to be able to take films and drive at the message you want to drive with impact. So how can we take this forward as a people? I think one of the most important things for us to do is that in whatever area of influence we are, we should be able to look and say, what exactly our objectives? So I think media people or people who are in the media or the entertainment space need to be able to come forward and say, this is what we are trying to do in government. This is what we are trying to do in the church. This is what we are trying to do in whatever aspect or area we are looking at. And then ask yourself and say, okay, if this is what we want to do, how can we use our tool to drive that agenda? So I think that is a very strong tool, but you have to work with people in different areas. So for instance, if I want to change the mindset of a nation, if I want to change national orientation, I can actually decide and say we need to do messages, we need to do stories that talk about the kind of orientation we need to have as a people, and to show people that if we have this kind of orientation, this is the kind of nation that is possible. And you package it in a believable story, in a believable framework that people can look and say, I can see it now. This thing is possible. This is our time, I believe, to be able to drive the change that we are looking for, particularly in Nigeria as a nation. And I'm trusting that we will see that happening amongst many of you out there in the weeks, the months, and the years to come. God bless you.